Okay, so picture this. It's 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
in a quiet neighborhood
Okay.
in Anderson, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
A woman named Rhonda
Okay.
is waiting up for her boyfriend, Clarence Buddha Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, there's a frantic banging on the door.
Oh, no.
But instead of Buddha,
Yeah.
she finds him lying on her porch,
Oh, my God.
fatally wounded,
Oh, wow.
next to a bloody
Yeah.
mini samurai sword.
A mini samurai sword.
It's a scene ripped straight from a crime thriller
Yeah, I was going to say.
and the start of a decade-long mystery.
Wow.
So today we're taking a deep dive into the unsolved murder of Buddha.
Okay.
We're sifting through police reports and witness testimonies to see if we can help uncover what really happened that night.
That's a great hook.
Yeah.
What strikes me immediately is the sheer contrast at play here.
Oh, yeah.
You have this seemingly peaceful setting,
Right.
interrupted by such brutal violence.
Yeah.
And then this unusual weapon, a mini samurai sword, that just doesn't fit the typical picture of a homicide.
Yeah, you don't expect to find something like that
No.
in a small-town murder.
No, not at all.
It raises so many questions right off the bat.
Absolutely.
And it gets even more intriguing because before we even get to the murder itself,
Okay.
Buddha's car was vandalized
Oh, really?
with a chilling message.
Yeah.
I hate you, and I'm going to get you.
Oh, my goodness.
So was this just a random act of vandalism?
Right.
Or was it a warning, a sign of things to come?
It's hard to say for sure, but it certainly adds another layer to the mystery.
Right.
If we look at this incident through the lens of criminal psychology,
Okay.
it could suggest a personal vendetta, someone with a deep-seated grudge against Buddha.
So let's go back to that night in 2015,
Right.
the night of the murder.
Mm.
What exactly did investigators find at the crime scene?
Well, apart from the obvious Buddha's body and the sword, there wasn't much to go on.
Okay.
No fingerprints, no witnesses who saw the attack itself. It was almost as if the killer vanished into thin air.
Yeah.
But there was one crucial piece of evidence. Buddha's dying words.
Oh, wow.
As Rhonda rushed to his side, he managed to utter,
Okay.
"Don't touch the knife."
Okay.
They brought that with them. Put it down.
Wow. Talk about chilling last words.
I know.
He knew he was dying.
Yeah.
And yet he was more worried about that sword.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that?
It's incredibly poignant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests he knew his attackers. And for some reason, he didn't want Rhonda touching that sword. Was he afraid of contaminating evidence?
Yeah.
Was he trying to protect someone even in death?
Right.
Or was it something else entirely?
Okay.
We're left grappling with these questions.
Right.
And they add a layer of human tragedy to the cold, hard facts of the case.
Absolutely. And speaking of facts,
Yeah.
let's talk about the investigation.
Okay.
Did the police have any leads early on? Anyone they suspected?
Unfortunately, the investigation hit a wall very early on.
Oh, really?
There were whispers about Buddha's lifestyle, rumors of legal activities.
Okay.
Even whispers about him having bodyguards.
Hold on. Bodyguards.
Yes.
In Anderson.
It sounds strange.
Yeah.
But the sources we have offer conflicting accounts.
Okay.
Some people close to Buddha claim he was involved in something risky.
Okay.
Something that required protection.
All right.
Others say it was all just talk, part of the image he cultivated.
So we have a victim who might have been living a double life.
Right.
A mysterious murder weapon.
Yeah.
Cryptic dying words. And a stalled investigation.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin to untangle this web?
Well, I think the first step is to separate fact from fiction.
Okay.
What do we know for certain about Buddha's life, his relationships, and his potential enemies? And that's where those conflicting accounts about the bodyguards become so crucial if they were real. Where were they that night?
Right.
Why didn't they protect him?
Yeah.
Were they involved somehow?
Right.
These questions lead us down a very intriguing path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back to continue to delve into this case.
Sounds good.
It feels like we're dealing with a puzzle.
Yeah.
With a lot of missing pieces. We have these whispers about Buddha's potential business.
Right.
But nothing concrete.
Right.
And if we look at the vandalism incident,
Okay.
the threat carved into his car before the murder,
Yeah.
it almost reinforces the idea that someone was out to get him.
Absolutely. And that's where the lack of a clear motive becomes so frustrating for investigators.
Yeah.
Was this a personal dispute,
Right.
a business deal gone wrong, or something else entirely?
Yeah.
Without that crucial piece of information, it becomes very difficult to narrow down suspects.
So let's delve into the investigation a bit further. You mentioned it stalled early on.
Right.
What happened?
Well, despite their best efforts, the initial team of detectives couldn't find any solid leads.
Wow.
No fingerprints on the sword.
Right.
No witnesses to the actual attack.
Right.
They interviewed family friends and acquaintances, but no one seemed to know anything concrete about Buddha's potential enemies.
Right.
Or why someone would want him dead.
Yeah.
It's like everyone was protecting their own secrets, further shrouding the case in mystery.
And then you mentioned a new detective took over the case after 2 years.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this new detective brought a fresh perspective.
Oh, right.
Instead of relying solely on witness testimonies, which were proving unreliable.
Right.
They decided to focus on the physical evidence.
Okay.
Particularly the mini samurai sword.
Okay.
The hope was that DNA testing might reveal the killer's identity.
So what did the DNA results show?
Unfortunately, they weren't as conclusive as everyone had hoped. While they did find traces of DNA on the sword, it didn't match any known profiles in the criminal database.
Wow.
It was a dead end.
Okay.
At least for the time being.
That's so disheartening. All that time and still no answers.
I know.
Do we know if they were able to get any usable prints from the break-in at Buddha's house after his death? Maybe that could have provided a clue?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
The scene at the house was chaotic.
Really?
Whoever broke in had seemingly ransacked the place.
Oh.
Overturning furniture, emptying drawers, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
It seemed like they were looking for something specific.
Right.
But whatever it was, they either found it or gave up.
It's like someone was trying to erase any trace of Buddha's secrets.
Right.
But hey, if he was involved in something illegal, wouldn't there be some kind of paper trail, financial records, phone logs, something that could point investigators in the right direction?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But remember, this is a small town.
Right.
Word of mouth travels fast.
Yeah.
And if Buddha was involved in something shady, he likely kept it very close to the vest. Dealing in cash and using burner phones. It's the kind of situation that makes an investigator's job incredibly difficult.
It's almost like we're back to square one.
Yeah.
A victim with a potentially hidden life, a cryptic murder weapon.
Right.
And a whole lot of unanswered questions. What does this all mean? Where do we go from here?
Well, despite the lack of a clear suspect, there are still some avenues worth exploring.
Okay.
For example, we could delve deeper into the forensic analysis of the sword.
Okay. I keep thinking about that sword.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't just a random weapon?
Right.
What if it was chosen specifically for this crime?
Yeah.
Having to send a message.
That's a fascinating angle.
Yeah.
It ties into a theory. Investigators have been exploring the idea that Buddha's murder was a targeted hit.
Okay.
Perhaps orchestrated by someone he crossed in his alleged business dealings.
Right.
The choice of weapon could have been symbolic, a way to intimidate others.
Right.
Or even a form of ritualistic punishment.
So we have this potential link to organized crime.
Yeah.
But no clear evidence to back it up. Right. Incredibly frustrating.
It is, and it highlights the limitations of traditional investigative methods in cases like this.
Yeah.
We rely heavily on physical evidence and witness testimony.
Right.
But when those are scarce or unreliable, we're left with more questions than answers.
What about those rumors of Buddha having bodyguards?
Yeah.
Did the police ever look into that angle?
They did, but again, they hit a wall.
Okay.
The people who claimed to have seen these bodyguards couldn't provide any concrete details.
Okay.
Names, descriptions, anything substantial that could lead investigators to them.
Right.
It's almost as if these bodyguards were more like phantoms.
Right.
Part of the myth surrounding Buddha, but not real people.
It's like peeling back layers of an onion, and every layer reveals another mystery.
Right.
We've talked about the crime scene, the rumors, the stalled investigation.
Right.
But what really happened to Buddha? What's the takeaway from all of this?
The most heartbreaking takeaway is that despite years of investigation, Buddha's case remains unsolved.
Right.
His killer or killers are still out there.
Yeah.
And justice remains elusive.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we should give up hope.
Okay.
Sometimes all it takes is one small detail, one new piece of information to crack a case wide open.
I guess that's where our listeners come in.
Yeah.
Maybe someone out there knows something, something they haven't shared yet. Maybe they saw something that night.
Yeah.
Or maybe they heard a rumor.
Yeah.
A name. Anything that could help shed light on this case.
Exactly. And that's why cases like this are so compelling. They invite us to participate, to become armchair detectives, to analyze the information, and see if we can spot something the police might have missed.
So if you were investigating this case, what would you focus on?
Right.
What details stand out to you? And if you have any information, no matter how small, please reach out to the Anderson County Sheriff's Office.
Even a seemingly insignificant detail could be the key to finally unlocking the truth behind Buddha's tragic death.
Buddha's story is a stark reminder that sometimes even in seemingly quiet communities, darkness can lurk beneath the surface.
Absolutely.
It's a story about secrets, betrayal, and the enduring search for justice.
Yeah.
Keep those questions in mind.
Right.
And maybe, just maybe, you hold the key to solving this enduring mystery.